So this is a Sansui G-3000 stereo receiver that I want to make a video about. This one is broken. From what I'm understanding, it's popping fuses when you turn it on. I've worked with this model before. I actually have one over here that I've just finished recapping. So this one works great over here. But the chore for today is to find out what's wrong with this one and try and see if I can get it running with the parts I have around. So I've got the cover off here and got my trusty flashlight. Just going through and inspecting the board to see if I can see what's going on with this. Seeing any burnt components. I do, however, see that both the main rail fuses are blown. At least two on the right here are blown. So clearly something has happened. I'm gonna take the back cover off and the bottom off and see if there's maybe something going on, like the output transistors are shorted or something like that. So I've got the Sansui G-3000 flipped over here, and I'm actually testing the board now. Use my dim bulb tester here. That'll save a lot of grief here, plus I can run it even if it's got that short, and the voltage won't get high enough to blow the fuses or really destroy anything, so I can kind of do some testing. Even though all the voltages are a lot lower, they're pretty much proportional. I tested the output transistors. They're actually all fine, which kind of makes me glad, because there are modern replacements, but I didn't have any, so I was glad it wasn't those. And I've actually been poking around the board here now for about an hour, and I discovered that the voltages right here, this is transistor 14 in the schematic, and I was testing it here. I got it on my meter leads, and basically what I was seeing was almost every direction you went with the diode test, you got about a 1 volt drop. And in the normal places you got your 0.6, but all the other directions you got like a 1 volt drop on the diode test. When I did resistor, I got some huge number, but I think the thing was breaking down under load. So anyway, to his B560, I went and found a comparable transistor that should work in this place, which is this KSA 1220AYS. I had a bunch of these available, so I put one in there, and now I've got voltages that kind of jive. Let me turn it on here. It's still on dim bulb. You can kind of see you're not getting a lot of light. But if I got my ground hooked up here, and then if I test at the bases, okay, at this one, I'm getting minus 0.5 volts on the negative, and at this one I'm getting 0.572. Those aren't exactly equal, but the differential pair will compensate once the output transistors are hooked up. So now what I'm going to do is hook up the output transistors and dim bulb it as well, and make sure things look good. So I've got the output transistors on this channel soldered back in now, and I'm going to give it a test. Here we go. Don't mind the blue bulb. It was very low wattage because this is a low wattage receiver. I didn't want to use a 100 watt bulb because it really isn't very effective at that point. As you can see, it's gone completely out, and there does not appear to be anything wrong here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to test for some voltage at the speaker terminals, which are back here. So I got, let's put on millivolts here. I got 4.8 millivolts, very good. Should be 0, yep. And this one, minus 7 millivolts, very good. These receivers don't have a DC offset setting, so you get what you get pretty much based on the transistors you have. That differential pair does help. So it appears to be running okay. So Now it's time to give it a test.
When you are low, that's what you use. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Spotlight.
Oh, here's the receiver, and it's working, but I'm not fully done with it because there's still a problem. It's a very minor one, however. The thing is functioning, it's not blowing fuses, the music sounds acceptable, but I still have a noisy transistor in one of the channels. So I want to show you something. I've actually pulled up on the scope. I have not yet changed any transistors in the output section, but I've pulled up on the scope the output of the amp. The left channel is on channel 1 of the scope and the right channel is on channel 2. What I want to point out here is you can actually see the difference between the two channels quite a bit in the amount of noise and if it's jumping around. So right now I've got it set on the right channel. Don't mind the fact that it blinks every once in a while. That's it trying to trigger. This is an older scope. It's not digital or anything. Well, it might have some digital components, but it's not a newer digital display scope, and just sort of tries to trigger. So ignore the blinking, but look at the line. It seems pretty crisp. There's not really noise or anything like that. And I'm going to switch over to the left channel, and now look at it. The line is a lot thicker, which indicates noise. And look at it, it's jumping around quite a bit. And then every once in a while, you'll hear noise when it jumps like that. It's jumping up and down. There it is, right there. Do you see it? That's the noise that we're hearing. Oh, there was a pop or something. This transistor might be failing right in front of me. Did you see that? Ha! Alright, well, I'm going to get changing before I blow up this amp again. But I just wanted to take a look at that on the scope. Well, I finally got this amp straightened out. I actually only ended up replacing one transistor in the power amp section, and that was the equivalent one of the one that had completely failed in the other channel. That was the same transistor, the pair, the complementary to it, that's part of the other channel, because the right channel was the one I was working on, and that transistor had completely failed in the right channel, and it was making noise in the left channel. So I replaced it again, or I replaced that transistor also in the left channel, and we're not getting any more noise. Speakers are quiet, really quiet. When there's no music playing, it's very nice. It sounds really good. So what I'm going to do here is set the bias and probably clean the pots a little bit and then button it back up again and listen to it. And here it is. Got the case all attached and cleaned. It's not too bad. There's a couple of scuffs, not even scratches really, just sort of a little bit of scuffs, but case is in pretty good shape for its age anyway. Got everything assembled, transistor replaced, no more noise, no more crackling, no more hiss. It's very quiet. Cleaned all the controls real well. I actually got two pairs of speakers hooked up. I got these, and then I got some smaller ones that are in the end there. But there it is.